Usap tayo.
Usap tayo.
Tara, usap tayo.
Hi! Magandang hapon sa lahat ng ating manonood and welcome sa ating maiden episode ng Usap Tayo. Ako si Nando Roa na isang marketing practitioner ng aking kabataan.
At ako naman si Gabie Avante, co-founder ng SustainablePH Youth and co-host ng SustainapOD.
Hi Gabs! How are
Hello
you?
po. I'm doing good. How are you po?
Okay, ito, weathering the heat. Metro Manila is a bit warm now, but I think the whole Philippines is warm. Excited kami sa pilot na ito dahil gusto namin malaman nyo kung ano ang konsepto nito. And we also want you to know na marami kami tatalakayin every other Sunday.
Tito Nando, ako rin. Natutuwa po kasi kakaiba o unique yung show natin and positive yung message nito.
Tama ka dyan, Gabi. Sa bawat episode, may makikilala tayong iba't-ibang public servant na ibabahagi sa atin ang kani-kanilang sustainability projects.
At gusto natin na magkaroon ito ng snowball effect at mahawang ibang komunidad sa Pilipinas at i-share din nila dito sa atin ang kanilang mga sustainability projects.
I love that word, snowball. Dahil ngayon, yan ang kailangan natin. Snowball, snow cone, kahit na snow naman lang. Dahil napakainit sa labas. Ngayong hapon, we are proud to have with us two public servants from Legazpi City, Bicol. Gabie, please, I'm excited for you to introduce the first one.
So let us welcome Councilor Gregorio Fernand M. Imperial III, who is married to Victoria Teresa Juana Neri, and they have one child, si Rocio Juliana Imperial, and his mother is Emma M. Imperial, who is the CEO and President of Imperial Homes Corporation. His father, Gregorio Goyito S. Imperial, was the former mayor of Legazpi City in the year December 31, 1967 to April 7, 1986. So straight 19 years siya in position.
Wow.
He graduated from the University of Nottingham, East Midlands, United Kingdom with honors, and he is a city councillor from July 1, 2013 to present, and is now 8 years in service.
Let's welcome to the show, Councilor Fernand Imperial.
Hi Nando, hi Gabby. It's
Hello
good to
po.
be on this show.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you for being
having
here
me.
with us. Thank you for being with us. It's such an honor to have you.
Yeah, I want to
How's
thank.
everything in Bicol now?
Everything's good. You know, the weather's shifting a bit, so we're experiencing lighter winds, but
Is it
it's been
raining?
sunny. It's been sunny. It's
Okay.
quite sunny. Mayon is out at the moment, so
Oh,
we got
take a
beautiful
picture.
view. Yeah, yeah. I'll send you loads of pictures.
Oh, please,
Yeah.
please.
I wanna,
You know,
I
every
wanna
time we
say,
go to Bicol, Mayon keeps hiding her top.
yeah, I wanna give a shout out to Lester Narito. He helped put us together with Kathy. Yeah,
Thanks so
he's
much.
my friend from Southridge. We went to school together. So
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And of course, our other very, very special guest is none other than Mayor Noel Rosal. He is a graduate of Adamson University with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. He holds a master's degree in Business Administration at the Aquinas University, where he also took up Bachelor of Laws. He's an undefeated politician who started his career in politics as barangay chairman of Barangay Gogon in Legazpi City, where he was also elected and served as city councilor for 2 terms and won as mayor in 2001. He completed 3 more consecutive terms as chief executive and was re-elected with no opponent in 2013. He's a strong advocate of private-public partnership, good governance, and transparency. He's a visionary leader whose utmost concern is the welfare of the majority, especially the marginalized sector of society. And he has consistently brought Legazpi to higher levels of social development and economic prosperity, as well as wider horizons of opportunities. He is also a tourism champion, an engineer by profession, and an outstanding public servant by merit and performance. Welcome to our show, Mayor Noel Rosal. Thank you for
Yes.
being here. Alam namin busy-busy po kayo.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for
Magandang hapon.
yes, sir. Thank you very much for letting me join you this afternoon together with Councilor Fernan, my inaanak. And of course, looking forward for a lengthy and productive discussion this afternoon.
Oh, kami din po. We look forward to that. But before we dive into our interview, panoorin muna natin tong video taken last 2019, pre-COVID.
I'm sending this challenge to Mayor Noel Rosal of Legazpi City. Happy Urban October.
Maray na daw tabi si Mayor Noel Rosal ng lungsod ng Legazpi. Welcome to our beloved city, and today, together with the hard-working city government of Legazpi, we'll be having our coastal cleanup and mangrove planting day. And in celebration of the October urban ceremony, join us as we move forward for our coastal cleanup and our mangrove planting.
Our coastal cleanup bring us to the Purok or Legazpi Boulevard and the barangays of Uraquis and Dapdap, wherein we have our Sawangan Park, the seafront park of Legazpi, and of course, the many amenities for our senior citizens and children. So, ang mga basura na nakukuha namin showcases how much we value our environment. So, ito po na nakukuha namin galing sa Albay Coast, especially every amihan, will strengthen, pinapahalagaan namin ang aming mga seashores. So, this is about giving example and of course, inspiration sa aming mga kababayan. This is already a way of life of us Legazpeños.
Mangrove forests are among the most carbon-rich ecological zones in the planet. These areas are good carbon pathways that can help sequester greenhouse gases and help mitigate climate change. It is also good for future and nature-based solutions to protect coastal areas from erosion and act as a natural water filtration to manage sediment and maintain coastal water quality. Today, Legazpi City will also be known as the City of Fun and Bakawan. Climate change is the greatest environmental challenge of our generation.
Please share your city's sustainable urban development practices. I challenge a good friend of mine, Mayor Nelson Legacion of Naga City, a fellow Bicolano, and all other mayors. We would like to learn from your experiences. From the city of fun and adventure, there's always more in Legazpi City.
Happy Urban October!
Yan.
Wow.
Galing. Galing talaga. Nakaka-inspire.
Yeah.
So moving on to our Q&A portion, Mayor and Councilor, tell us more about this coastal cleanup and mangrove planting project.
Okay, I'll answer it first, ma'am. Anyway, good afternoon again to everyone joining us this afternoon. You know, in Legazpi City, we have this Legazpi City Boulevard, and it stretches about 5 kilometers. And we have about 15 coastal barangays in the city, meaning we are a coastal city. And we are in the front of the Albay Gulf and adjacent to the Pacific Ocean. So as you all know, typhoon emanates in the Pacific. So Legazpi Albay is visited by about 10 to 12 typhoons per year. So it's really very important for us to prepare
Yes.
our in terms of resiliency. So cleaning our coastal uh, highways or our coastal seafront is very important for Legazpi because of the low tide and high tide and the risk of amihan and abagat. Our garbage in the seashores not only comes from the people living in the barangays but also from far-flung municipalities, meaning it was thrown by the wind or by the tide of the sea. So meaning we have to do this time and again so that we can maintain cleanliness in the shores of the
Yes.
Legazpi Boulevard and other coastal areas. And this will surely be a perception of strength on the part of our tourism. And of course, there is the sense of ownership or sense of partnership between the locality and the government. And regarding the mangrove, this is initiated ever since by the city because we are a city of also a lot of plantation of this mangrove because we have a lot of coastal areas. So we have this in almost all the 15 barangays. So every year, at least 3 times, we have this program. We have the for Valentine's Day, which is February 14. We have for Legazpi Day by June 12. And of course, on the Ibalong and Fiesta, which comes in August and October. So meaning this is already part of the activities every year. It's a way of life for us Legaspeños. So that creates a notion of awareness among our people. It's not only about the city ordinances, but it should be a way of life. Meaning, we have installed the system, and of course, we have now the maturity of the people. So that's all about these two noble projects of the city.
So, are you able to do these projects even in the pandemic? What adjustments did you make to push through with sustainability projects given na very very limited ngayon ang movement ng tao, no? Social distancing,
Yes.
and inter travel between barangays could be more difficult dahil kailangan niyo ng mga swabs. So how do you maintain this today?
Yes, of course, because of the pandemic, we have to maintain minimum health standards or health protocols. So we have this office, the OCNR, which is protects our environment. So we did do this on a small scale only, on a barangay level. But we have to continue the plantation, especially the cleaning of our seashores. So meaning we have to do this on a barangay level, not anymore on a citywide. So
Yes.
assuming one barangay, they have to do this because they belong to the one barangay with the limited people and of course practicing the distancing, the social distancing. At least we can manage. We were able to manage to make our shores still clean despite the pandemic because this will add more problems for our city because of the epidemic of this pandemic. So we have to ensure cleanliness, especially for the weeds and of course our barangays in the city.
Let's hear from Councilor Fernand.
Yeah, actually, I'm a main beneficiary of mayor's work, so I can give testimonial to the changes in our community. And I live right off the boulevard, as I was saying earlier before the show, and the community has become very very nice to live in. I've got to say, the boulevard wasn't here. Maybe what, a decade ago, and now it's totally changed the the landscape. And the beach we had we had some problems with some garbage, but the cleanup crews, they come in regularly, and to me they're like my heroes, you know. And I've got friends that also that also monitor the area, because ako, I go sailing. That's another thing that mayors helped me with. You know, we started a sailing program to be able to get the barangays able to build like these small homemade dinghy boats. And that's another way for me to be able to monitor the progress of mayor, you know, like, and the city. And you can see that there's a big impact in the installation of systems that had happened, where the cleanup crews come in, and then they clean up the garbage, little by little, but regularly. It's the regularity that makes a difference. Eh. So talagang malaking bagay. And ako, I see it, you know, I see it. So
The impact of, you're talking about the coastlines, and you were mentioning, Mayor, yung coastlines, 15 coastal barangays, no? And then I love that term that you used, you are visited, no? I think you're not visited by storms, you're tormented by storms, no? You're very kind in calling it visitations. But really, these coastal towns, ang kalaban ng dagat talaga natin ay plastic, no? And grabe ang plastic pollution natin. And for the last 10 years, what have you seen in terms of management of plastic waste?
Yes. You know, first of all, we have to have the ordinance or the law. Without the law, it's really very hard to manage and regulate. So we have this ordinance in uh, um, created in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Albay. Because, you know, it's very important that this ordinance should only not pertains to Legazpi City. It should be the entire province because we are interconnected. So we have the big malls, and of course, the tourist destinations are not only in Legazpi, but in many municipalities. Now, we have this ordinance of preventing, no, the use of plastic, especially for secondary for second use. It's really prohibited in the malls, especially in the wet market. You can only use plastic for primary packaging. So meaning there is now regulation. So after that law, there should be an honest to goodness implementation. Because
Yeah.
as a very long time, Mayor, ordinance or law will just be a law if that will not be properly implemented. So in my helm or at my helm, I see to it that there should be a monitoring and there should be a task force created for the purpose of doing what still to be done or what are still to be improved, especially adapted to the present time. Because we have to also to consider that paper comes from woods. Hindi natin pwede talaga na papel talaga dependahan natin. Baka
Oh,
nagkaroon tayo ng bago na namang problema, yung ating
yes.
illegal tree cutting. No?
Yeah.
So we have to do some innovation like yung payaw at saka ibalik yung pagdala ng basket pag nang mamalengke. Di ba naalala natin mga magulang natin before?
Yes.
Everywhere you go, even in Metro Manila, pag mamalengke, may dalang bayong. Alam mo yung bayong parang basket. Ngayon,
Yes.
inalis na yan kasi social na tayo, doon nabibili. Ngayon, binalik natin yan. Yan ang nakita kong going to back to basic that we have really to do now if we want really to prevent, especially this climate change phenomenon. We have really to do our share.
And when you find violators of this plastic law, what are they subjected to?
Yeah, because the violation under the ordinance is there are many characteristic or types. One for the mall, for the establishments. Two for the stores or owner of stores in the market, and especially in the wet market. And number three, the individuals, meaning the people. So there's a violation. There's the so-called penalty, and this is stronger than the citation ticket by the LTO. This is stronger because this is special law. If you will not pay, if you get caught, a case will be filed to you in the city prosecutor's office. And if you will not attend the hearing, for sure you will have a record. If you will be convicted, that will be a problem for you for the rest of your life. Kaya this is, I think, a stronger penalty or a stronger implementation is needed. You know, there are a lot of laws, especially for environment, but the problem really is in the Philippines is that implementation is not so sustainable and, of course, continuing.
In terms of food security, we're talking about food security
Yeah.
in a place where you're always visited by nice storms. How do you educate the community especially today? No, I'm glad I'm talking to an industrial engineer because
Yeah.
I'm an industrial engineer also, and I like
Yeah.
the way you talk because you talk the language. You talk a bit of the numbers and you talk about a bit of the science. But how do you teach the community to be self how do you call it
Sustain.
self-sustaining, self-sustaining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sir, I always believe under the local government code of or Republic Act 7160, it was created in 1991, wherein local government now participates in the income, in the BIR, and other national wealth. Meaning,
Mm,
there's now more power and, of course, function for local government. So, with that, we have really to push for more people empowerment in the locality. By doing that, meaning you are now giving them the opportunity to also grow and be a part of our strength when it comes to supplies and demand. Like, for example, in our farmland, before Legazpi, as you all know, is a tourist city. Only about 11% or 15% up to 50% of the total farmland is being tilled. Meaning, people are not really interested or are not really bent on planting cabbage or palay because they want easy money like construction or
yeah.
go to another places to find job. No, now we have to teach them to be, of course, number one. At least we can have them we can equip them with the supplies and, of course, the technology. So the city government earmarked a very ambitious project almost 10 years ago. We call this the uh, the rice production, wherein we use now the advanced technology. So we give them the seedlings, and if they will produce more than 100 kabans in every hectares, the seedlings is free. The seedlings very expensive. It will cost you about per hectare about 2,000 to 3,000 up to 5,000 depending on the seedling. So meaning these farmers are now enjoined to really plant because they have a free supply, including equipment. Because I do believe as Filipinos, we have really now to upgrade our machineries. Hindi na pwede yung mga kalabaw-kalabaw. Maiiwan tayo as we are already in the ASEAN integration. So meaning for food security, every sector, ito po ang pinalakas natin. Ating farmers, yung ating mga nagtatanim ng gulay sa Mayon, kailangan meron silang tinatawag na incentive. So meaning, less taxes pag nakapag-produce ka, and number two, pag nakapag-supply ka sa palengke, bibigyan ka ng lugar na halos libre na ang lugar mo para sa pagtinda mo ng inyong mga paninda. Sa atin ng mga fishermen, ito ang kailangan natin na i-protect also. Number one, of course, we have to equip them also with bangka, of course, kailangan may makina, and of course, the nets, yung tama na pamamarahan. And every month, kung mahina ang paghuli, because alam mo naman kung masama ang panahon at as you know, in Albay, Legazpi. So we have this pangtawid familia para sa aming mga farmers, which they believe this should be sustainable pag wala silang hanap buhay. So in that way, there's a partnership. We bridge the gap itong mga kulang natin ng mga sektor natin. So na-inspire natin yan na talagang magtrabaho kasi nandyan yung ating gobyerno. So yan po.
I really find that interesting po kasi I think naman po our fellow Filipinos, they think about it, sustainability. Hindi lang nila alam paano gawin. And I really am, appreciative of your effort na bibigyan niyo sila ng tools, tuturuan niyo sila
Okay.
for them to, practice sustainability. And hindi lang siya because to help the environment eh. It's to help them, have their own sources of livelihood.
Correct.
So I really applaud you po for those initiatives.
Ako rin po. Anyone who brings back honor to agriculture, in my book, is a hero. Kasi dito po nawawala na yung people think kasi if you're a farmer, when you say, I'm a farmer mahirap ka lang kasi farmer ka eh. Okay? There's no dignity pag sinabi mo farmer ka. Samantalang sa ibang mga bansa, pag sinabi mo, I'm a farmer, makita mo yung mga farms nila, mechanized farms, they're growing, di ba, hectares and hectares of vegetables.
Yeah.
Ibang klase. So, for you to bring that back to Bicol and bring back that dignity to farming and make it really productive, that's going to be really something. Which brings me to my next question. What is your vision of Legazpi? What is your vision, say, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You may not be mayor anymore, no? But
Yeah.
what do you want? What do you want to leave behind? What do you want Bicol to
Yeah.
be or Legazpi to be?
Yeah, actually, Legazpi, as you know, we have Mayon, the epic Mayon volcano as our strength. There's no other volcano in the world. You roam around, you go to Europe, to North America, South America, wala kang makakita ng Mayon. So we have already our gem. But this gem will remain a gem. There should be activities. So I see Legazpi as a central area of the Philippines for ecotourism. Meaning, there is this big income for our people. As you all know, Legazpi is not very strong when it comes to factory. We have, number one, we don't have that much raw materials. Number two, we're not that accessible in terms of the cheapest means of transportation, like train, which still to be built. No, we are facing the Pacific. We're not facing the China Sea, which is the trading hub now of this modern world. No? Sa ngayon ho, sir, alam naman before, in the 1960s, sikat na sikat ang Legazpi because the trading before is between Albay and America. Diba? Yung tinatawag natin ngayon, indiretso pa yan ng Acapulco trade, which is centuries ago. But now, nabago na ito, no? So, napalayo yung Legazpi because umiikot ka pa sa San Bernardino. So, I see Legazpi, we have to make it to strengthen Legazpi, to give strength to Legazpi more on services and trading. So, yung ating mga tinatawag natin ng mga agricultural is for support services para sa ating ibang sector. But for me, the strength of Legazpi as we are doing now, we have just been rated by the national competitiveness as number 2 most competitive city despite the many typhoons. So I see Legazpi in the next years as the most or the top 3 convention destination in Luzon. Why?
Wow.
Because we have now the infrastructure. We have the convention center, we have the tourist attractions, not only man-made, but also a lot of sceneries like beaches in other areas, which is just adjacent to the city. So meaning we have the weapon or we have the capacity and the strength to make Legazpi as the center for ecotourism. So we have now the infrastructure. We have built more than 3 billion roads connecting every municipality in the city the last 10 years, thanks to our congressmen, to the national government, in making Legazpi as the number one in infrastructure for component cities for the last 3 years. No? Meaning, this is really a massive. I do believe that in measuring a local government, it should be three. Number one, the infrastructure. Number two, the government efficiency. And number three, the economic dynamism. We're in Legazpi, as you all know, all the mega malls in Makati. Nobody will talk that a typhoon-prone area, all the mega malls in Makati are already in Legazpi. So it can be done as long as the resiliency of that city. That's why Legazpi is so rated very high because of our resiliency as the number one in disaster risk reduction management, maintaining a zero casualty, no, for the last 13 years. The many
Oh,
times
that's fantastic.
was a lesson for all of us. So I see Legazpi, as you all know, being in the Pacific Ocean. So we are now building, would you believe, a cruise ship terminal, the very first in the country, ongoing now. And this will surely be a game changer, not only for Legazpi, but the entire province of Albay. We have really to build opportunities for our people as what they did in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and many parts in Asia. So infrastructure, government efficiency, we are now online. We can apply business permit, you can pay your real property tax while you are in vacation in the US because we are online. You can apply for building permit online. No contact, less corruption, and of course, one assessment policy rating us number one. We bested Manila in the just concluded competition of DICT of local governments. Meaning, remember that the Legazpi is not that big, but we have bested a lot of metro cities because of our system, which is already in place. So that is now my dream for Legazpi after I end next year. We have now installed the system. We are online. We have now the infrastructure. We have now almost all the attractions in the city. And of course, the matured people. And I just hope that the next administration will sustain this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, that was something. Let's take a look at it naman from the point of view of a younger government official. Fernand, how do you see Legazpi? I mean, you're young, you know, uh, you have a young generation, you have friends in Manila. So how are you going to position Legazpi in all of this?
Uh, well, it's wonderful to hear the comments of Mayor my Ninong. Over the years, we he became from a boss colleague to become almost family. So like when he talks about his love for Legazpi, I enjoy that. My family's been here for generations, and this community is part of our. It's deeply rooted in us. So when Mayor talks about modernizing agriculture, I'm an industrial economist, so we all have like industrial before our degrees. It's just I'm an economist. You guys are engineers, so but yes. So what we're taught in economics is that agriculture is the first sector that needs to be developed. Once you modernize agriculture, then the economy shoots up. So it it's congruent with what you guys were saying about how agriculture should be developed. And before the show started, we were talking about how we can empower our constituents and preserving their produce through bottling, which you and I, Nando, were talking about, exchanging ideas about. I mean, that's amazing. A simple procedure like that can really change
Yeah,
change the
revolutionize, di
game.
ba?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's simple. It's a proven technology, and it's something that I, as the chairman of Trade Industry and Investment, can kick up to the mayor and say, Mayor, this is a good idea. Actually, I'm presenting it to him now, and we can roll this out so that we can have reserves for our constituents, and then they can probably add marketing. My wife, she's a marketing major in Lasal. They can probably add marketing, and nowadays your market is not just your neighbors down the road.
Yeah.
With Shopee and Lazada, the world is open, and you can you
Absolutely.
can you can send your products all the way to America, to China, wherever, and all you need to do is just get a little bit organized, and that can happen. Uh, in reaction to Mayor's vision about Mount Mayon being a gem, I totally agree with that. It's a gem, and it's a gem that needs to be displayed. We need to turn it into jewelry so that everybody else can enjoy it. Because if we don't display the gem, it's just gonna be buried in the. But I think Mayor's doing a fantastic job by displaying this gem to the world. Not just because Mayor's gone and did sisterhood agreements with other cities in other countries. So this is amazing. The I've got neighbors here in Legazpi, expats. I've got a Dutch guy down the road. I've got an American guy along the boulevard. I've got a Japanese guy further down the boulevard, and I've got a British guy that went to the same university as I did in
Okay.
one
In
street
Nottingham.
down.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My mind was blown when he told me that he went to Nottingham. So this place is an amazing place for people to live. In fact, USAID had called us one of the most livable cities in the Philippines, and it's a gem waiting to be discovered. So I love what Mayor said about it being a gem, and he kept using the word central. If you fold the map of the Philippines in four, you'll see that Legazpi is in the center of the Philippines. So it's quite accessible, and yeah, it's really good. I'm looking forward to Mayor and I we're coterminous, so like we both graduate at the same time. We came in what's it 2013, 2016. Yeah, we came in same time, so we're graduating at the same time. So yeah,
Wala na
I
bang
hope that
re-election?
answers.
Wala na bang
Ah,
re-election for another
Fernan,
term?
may dagdag
Yes,
lang ako
Tino.
kay Fernan, kay Councilor
Yes po.
Fernan.
Oo.
Sir, just recently, he made mention of the American friend niya, classmate. They're very concerned. As I've said, hindi naman perfect tayo. Marami pa talaga tayo, like yung mga rivers sa Legazpi. We're a very old city. We have a lot of migrants coming in from other municipalities because of the opportunities here.
Yes,
Siyempre,
yes.
dito talaga pupunta. Pero ang problema, itong mga taong ito, hindi naman lahat strength. May mga weaknesses to. Kumbaga, kasi wala itong bahay, walang lupa,
Oo.
tumitira ito sa mga gilid ng mga riverbanks.
Mga rivers, yes.
Ito ang nag-pollute ng ating mga rivers. Actually, may proposal sina Councilor Fernan, which ito nga, kaya lang itong pandemic talaga na nahihinto tayo. We're planning to strengthen. Hindi lang yung ating mga interventions like infrastructure, but more so, yung mga tao na nakatira dyan. Kailangan equip natin like yung walang CR, kailangan talaga i-clustered natin yan. Otherwise, kahit paanong palinis natin, parang ginagawa natin, tagalinis tayo ng kanilang mga dumi.
Correct.
Kung walang
Correct po
CR,
yan.
number two dyan, wala sila dun sa sinatawag nating easement of property, 3 meters, kailangan talaga relocation. Now, when it comes to relocation, Legazpi is known for relocating a lot of people in the 6-kilometer danger zone. Wala na kami dyan. Graduate na ang Legazpi dyan. Meaning, we are ready to invest more. Kung gusto talaga natin mapalinis ang ating mga syudad, hindi lang sa Legazpi, ina-advise ko ang mga mayor, yung ating sinatawag na inward migration, dapat itama natin. Gaya ng mga ginagawa sa ibang country na binibisita natin. Alam nyo ho, alam ko, ikot din kayo. Pag nakakita ko in Australia dun sa Paramata, ni isang bahay, sabi nga namin minsan kami mga mayor, siguro kung sa Tondo yan, puno na ng bahay yan. Pero tingnan mo sila, not a single, because they have the law and they have a disciplined people and they have the enforcement. Pero bago natin yan, kasi medyo napag-iwanan tayo ng panahon. Pero hindi pwedeng sayangin natin ang bawat oras. Kaya tama rin siya ng Councilor. That gives me also an idea na kailangan balikan pa rin natin. Ano ba talaga ang problema natin? So kailangan yung ating mga nasa gilid ng mga rivers, kailangan alisin or kailangan bigyan natin ng tamang mga gamit sa bahay. Like CR, which is very important if we want to clean our river. So yan, I would like to commend Councilor Fernan. Palagi ako ng tinitext. Sa ngayon, yan ang mga concern niya, itong ating environment. And hopefully, ito ang next move ng ating city bago kami dalawa mag-graduate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy that you are taking care of the environment kasi you remember the story of Boracay in the past, di ba?
Yeah.
It just over commercialized to a point that they were already throwing waste back into the sea from the
Yes.
from the hotels. And look what happened. They had to stop everything. It was
Yes.
it was
Mabuti nga.
a calamity for them.
Yeah,
Oo.
mabuti nagkaroon ng political will si Pangulo. No?
That's right.
Talagang sumunod sila lahat. And I just hope masustain nila. Kasi pag
Oo.
hindi naman yan masustain, after 5 years or balik yan sa dati. Kaya I hope there should be infrastructure, yung sewerage. Alam mo, I'm really very particular to this type. Pumunta ako ng Boracay. Maganda talaga. Pero isang comment ko lang doon, kailangan ilagay nila yung infrastructure. Yung sewerage, yung septage, facilities. Otherwise, parang kurtal lang ang ginawa ni Pangulo doon. Dahil
Correct.
sa term niya, talagang, siyempre, takot yung mga tao, talagang susunod. Ang problema, after niya, paano na? Kaya kailangan nandun na yung infrastructure. And nakita ko naman, may mga sewerage na sila. And of course, yung dapat pang mga prerequisites to preserve the place, no?
Mhm.
We're
Alright.
almost in our party shot already. Pero magtatanong Gabs, do you have any questions?
Um, well, eto na lang po, from a youth perspective, I bet that marami rin naman young people in your cities, and given that it's a pandemic and we're, learning from home, ano yung advice nyo to our young people on how they can help with their city or help with sustainability?
Yes. As I would say that during in my term as mayor, I have emphasized that local governance is a shared responsibility. No? Napaka-imposible na gobyerno lang. It's a shared responsibility. Meaning, the various sectors of our society, academe, yung transportation, yung ating business, and of course, kasama na yung ating mga youth. Kasi sila ang pinakamalaking sektor ng ating sosyedad. So meaning, dapat ang ating mga youth, gaya mga sa ibang bansa, should be fully aware yung ano yung mga prohibited. Like for example, itong ating sa pagtapon ng basura, itong pagtanim ng kahoy o pagputol ng kahoy, at saka yung paglinis ng ating mga sapa or mga rivers. And number 2, they should know also where they are coming, kung saan sila pwedeng pumasok. Like for example, to be part of the community, more on IEC, information, education, and communication. Kasi ang mga bata, kahit mga bata yan, nakikinig yung ating mga matanda pagdating na sa mga teknolohiya na ating pagbabago. Kaya ito po ang ini-emphasize namin, yung SK, meron kami ngayon na training, kaso lang medyo kinakluster namin because of the minimum health standard. They have to fully aware of what's happening. So ito ang hinihingi ko sa inyo. They should not just see things happen. They have also to make things happen. Yan ang palaging sinasabi ko, if given the chance na magsalita ako sa kanya, because I cannot be a mayor for the rest of my life. Sabi ko sa kanila, you have to see to make things happen in your own small or big step or undertakings. Kaya, ang mga kabataan dito, kailangan talaga pukawin natin para maging parte ng ating komunidad na isa sa sanayan na magkaroon tayo ng mas working community may kanya-kanya tayong role sa ating komunidad.
Mhm. Thank you. How about you po, Councilor?
The youth are a mobilizing force, and among us here in this show, I bet Gabie Avante has the most followers in social media among all of us
I'll bet.
combined.
I'll bet.
So I was just, when you were asking that question, and Mayor was answering, I was thinking about this conversation that I had recently with somebody. I think it was also another interview. He was saying that, we gotta get the youth involved because these kids nowadays, they've got 10,000 followers, one post, and they've got 10,000 people. That, I'm lucky to have 100 followers on my account. So it's very important, the message that we get to the youth, that it's a positive message, kagaya ng mga na tinutukoy ni Mayor, and then we just leave it to the youth to disseminate that information, because really we can't discount the influence of the youth, because I drive around Legazpi, and I see people making content. They're just making content left and right, and in the boulevard, they go out because you can't stay in the house forever, but they go out and then they make content. That's what they do, and it's something that I never used to see before, but it's creative, it's artistic, it's a good way to community build also, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask Fernand. You're an industrial economist, and that the strength of any economy are the entrepreneurs. Okay, a bustling business sector, and the youth today are the entrepreneurs. So in Bicol, in Legazpi, how are you encouraging them to become entrepreneurs? What are the programs
Well-
that you have to build up this sector?
Well, I'm in close contact with the Chamber of Commerce. I've been the Albay Chamber of Commerce is the second oldest chamber in the Philippines, and we work with Mayor. In fact, the president, she commented earlier, congratulating Mayor on his vision, and si Tita Rose, I think she's listening. Hi, Tita Rose. So we've been thinking about ways in order to stimulate that kind of growth.
Yeah.
Maybe like a business competition where people can join in. Anybody can join. From the taho vendor and the fishball vendor down the road to big business, and then we can just measure using empirical evidence their growth, how they've been doing towards over the year, and then if their profitability has been bigger than the others, then we can learn from that. We can create heroes out of those people around us, and then that's something. That's something that we can do. But the chamber's been doing a lot of things. They've been very active, especially in helping with the pandemic. Despite the pandemic, I've seen businesses grow. One of the businesses that have grown are yung mga Food Panda, Grab,
Oh,
and then Favor Please is a local one here, and we've got Pink Pepper. It's a local one here. You can ask for anything you want, and then they'll send it over to you. I just
that's
think
great.
that I think that they're frontliners though, and I think that they should be considered as frontliners. They should get vaccinated. Paparinig po ako, Mayor.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
mukhang narinig ka ni Mayor. I think
They
he's
should
already
get that
ordering them to be vaccinated immediately.
Yeah. Sunod na
Yeah,
tayo.
so-
Actually, Legazpi is purchasing 200 million worth. Magtutulong kami. Ito yung savings namin. Sinasasad ko muna ibang infra. So, we are also purchasing our vaccine. Kasi this is a convergence zone ito, Legazpi. Even non-Legazpeños, pag nagkatrabaho ka dito, iba-vaccine namin ikaw to improve our herd immunity, hopefully before the end of the year, para makamove forward na tayo. Pag hindi kasi tayo nag-invest dito, sir, ma'am, mahirapan tayo. makabangon. Kailangan the soonest is the best thing that we have to do now.
That's an industrial engineer talking there. You can hear it.
Thank you.
You can really hear it. Anyway, that's almost all the time we have. But we will ask the mayor for his parting words. I will also
Yes.
ask the councilor for
Yes,
his
yes,
parting words.
yes. Of course, thank you very much to both of you, and of course to Councilor Fernan for joining us. And it's really an opportunity for me because I do believe sharing of best practices is very important in the country. Kami po, pupunta rin sa ibang bayan, marami rin kami natutunan like sa bayan sa siyudad ng sa Manila, Quezon City, yung mga taxes nila, pagbayad, marami rin kami natutunan even in other provinces. Kaya po masabi ko itong talakayan is very important because we can now share so that it can be replicated to other localities. Diyan natin ma-attain na maging competitive tayo lahat because we learn from each other. And I just hope that this program will invite more mayors who has also their own story because they have a story to tell na pwedeng wala ang Legazpi o ang Albay na meron din sila na pwede natin pakinggan at ma-improve ang ating sistema. So salamat pong muli and looking forward for the success of your program para maabot pa ng mas maraming tao at mga sektor ng ating komunidad. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Mayor. Gabs? Your
How
turn to
about,
interview Fernan.
oh yeah, okay. For you po, Councilor, what are your parting words for today's show?
Yeah, I want to thank Mayor for coming onto the show with us, and Nando, Gabie, thank you for having us on your pilot episode. Congratulations, you got the first one out there, and it's in the books. So yeah, I wanna especially thank Mayor because see Mayor has also said that he laid things out as it were. I didn't even bring it up, but he said that we have some challenges that we need to address. Don't worry, our technical working group is on the case. We'll be presenting some solutions for you.
So let's talk again. Let's talk.
Yeah. Opo, we've got that covered. So again, thank you for Ma'am Kathy and Dexter, and to him be all the glory. Thank you.
Amen. To God be the glory. I have one more question. Ito fast na. No more explanation lang. One answer lang for this question. The city you admire most in the world. Mayor.
Admire most? The many cities I have visited.
Just one po.
Just one? Japan.
Japan. Okay. Where? Tokyo? Are you talking about Tokyo? Tokyo. Okay. Fernan, you.
I'm paid to say Legazpi City, but I can't say Legazpi. I can't say
Hindi
that.
kaya sip-sip yun? Kasip-sipan yun.
Hindi. I would say, I like San Francisco. I like because it has similarities with Legazpi. So
Okay.
it's coastal and faces the Pacific. So
Well, on that note, we'd like to thank everybody for watching, and we'd like to thank our very special guest, Mayor Noel
Thank you
Rosal
very much.
of Legazpi, and Councilor Fernan Imperial, also of Legazpi. Maraming salamat po. And if you hear good news about Legazpi, it's because these people are really working to make Legazpi a great place. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you
Mabuhay
very
po kayo, and God bless you more.
Thank you po.
Keep safe.
thank you po.
Ingat po.
Gabs?
All right. So to our public servants, and we hope that you can come on our show to share your sustainability projects. We are very much excited to hear about them and to start a conversation that has long ago been needed to have started. So Tito Nando.
Yeah, please. If there are any public servants that are watching this, or if there is anybody that knows a public servant, that has something good to say, we'll be more than welcome. We're more than happy to welcome them here, to talk to them. Just here, Gabie and I, dito sa Usap Tayo.
Yes.
Thanks, Gabs!
Thank you, Tito Na.
Usap tayo.
Usap tayo.
Tara, usap tayo.